What's up guys, so in this video we are going to be taking a look at this Reddit post here because I think it's pretty interesting and I wanted to talk about the actual topic, which is overall the new player experience in the game. Now, I've mentioned the new player experience plenty of times in the past and I think this is a problem for RuneScape 3, and I think it's pretty well known that even Jagex are like willing to say the new player experience isn't that great in RuneScape 3. Now, this is not a good thing, and the way the new player experience kind of works at the moment is you want to skip through it as quick as possible and get you to the end game. That is kind of feeling like how Jagex's focus is, but it's kind of a throw off. So we're going to take a look at this. The title says, I came across an interesting take on the game from a new player's review on Steam. Some of this reminds me of the things I saw Rubik saying about the poor new player experience here on this subreddit. So this is something that I do mention about quite a lot, and I do very often say, like, you know, the new player experience is terrible. This is why we don't have many players stick around, new players. So I want to read through it, take a look, and then we'll go through the comments and see what people are saying about this as well, and just give my thoughts on it and stuff. So anyway, if you enjoy this sort of content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm making quite a bit more Reddit content lately. I'm enjoying it, so it is what it is. Anyway, this person they didn't recommend the game. They have 3 hours on record in total, and here we go. Let's take a look. So they said, I really wanted to like this game, but as a complete newcomer, I found the learning curve to be a bit too steep and overwhelming. The game is huge and you have to learn or craft everything from scratch before you can use it. I don't mind this kind of gameplay per se, but it quickly becomes tedious when all I want to do was run outside and kill some stuff. Okay. So they're probably talking about the very beginning of the game, the tutorial bit where they send you off to make your own armor and stuff, and all that beginning stuff. You know, the little path of the tutorial where you've got to craft, you got to mine your ores, and then make your bronze bars, and then make your bronze armor. They're probably talking about this, but yeah. So at the beginning, it does show you around and show you that. For example, to get your first weapon, a dagger, you have to mine 2 types of ore, take them to a furnace, and melt them into a bar. Take the bar to a nearby forge to heat it up, then take it to an anvil to work into a weapon which continuously cools down as you work it, requiring a trip back to the forge. Which is cool as a current RuneScape player. Like, the rework from what it used to be is cool, but for an MMO, it can seem tedious. Like, overall, you're still getting good XP, right? But for someone who wants to make a weapon to have the weapon, that's kind of annoying and it's kind of tedious. You want to just make the weapon, you just kind of want to have it done, which is how it used to be. You'd get the bar, you take it to the thing, and you'd click which one you want, and suddenly you'd have it. So it's kind of a good point. The early tutorials are well-meaning, but I felt that each one introduced so much new content that I was forgetting some of the basics, like how to eat. I was also unsure about what to do with a lot of items that were left in my modest backpack after completing some tutorials. For example, after baking some bread, I was left with a small pot and an empty bucket, and I wasn't sure if I needed to keep or discard them. Notes or lists randomly appeared in my backpack as well, which had no obvious use, so I ended up throwing them away. This was very much likely the yak track thing. Maybe something about verifying your account. I don't know, this sort of stuff. There was like that yak track list, or something to do with treasure hunter, something that it genuinely isn't needed. It isn't. It shouldn't be there for a new player, especially. It just shouldn't be there. Just don't put it there. Like, just don't. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so they threw them away. One of the early taskmasters gave you some kind of stone that allowed you to talk to him remotely for some unclear reason. Backpack space is really a premium, so these odds and sods add up quickly and become a burden. So I'm assuming, does the game not show you the bank early on? I don't know. The tutorial's not the same as it used to be, right? I don't know what tutorial is at the moment. I think it might actually still be Tutorial Island. But once you get to Berthorpe, it doesn't show you all that, I guess. But anyway, after 3 hours of gameplay, I had learned the basics of fishing, cooking, praying, melee, ranged, and magic combat, mining, blacksmithing, and tailoring. I was on yet another tutorial, this time teaching me archaeology. Honestly, the content was just overwhelming. I had to empty half of my backpack so that I could hold some soil that was asked to sieve or whatever to look for scrap materials. I was given some kind of qualification after restoring an old artifact that I swapped for a cup that did something. Then I was asked to visit a nearby dig site, presumably to learn more on archaeology. Okay, so this person, the bank wasn't, it seemed like the bank wasn't included in their tutorial here, because obviously if they are doing archaeology and they're digging and they're getting all that soil and then they're thinking, I need to make more space for this and drop my stuff, then obviously you would chuck that stuff in the bank. So they must have been carrying the stuff around with them, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, I can get where they're coming from. Like, it should be a little bit more, because you've only got a 28 slot inventory. 28, isn't it, guys? I should know this after so many years, but you only have 28 slots. If they don't tell you about the bank, then they definitely should do that more. And maybe when they introduce the archaeology tutorial, they should consider that a new player may go there very quickly, because it's a level 1 skill that you don't have any requirements for. So maybe add the bank like as part of that. So if the inventory is full, then it just gives a notification saying you may want to bank some items before starting this tutorial, and then show the bank chest that is very, very close to that tutorial. Like, just show a path to that and say, would you like to bank some stuff, and just give an option yes. If you press yes, then it gives a trail to the bank. If you say no, then it doesn't. That would be good, because when you start in a new MMO, the world is so confusing. There might be icons on the map, there might be like obvious places for us that have played. It's like, oh yeah, it's clearly a bank. But for a new player, there's so many things going on screen that you don't even notice that. And I know this because I've played loads of other MMOs. I've played like Elder Scrolls, I've played Black Desert, I've played just all of them, Guild Wars 2, like all of them except WoW. If you think of any, I'll probably try them all except WoW. And it's just how it is. You go into the world and yeah, even a bank is hard to find because you're like, where the frick is it? So this is very true. It could be like that. I got bored at this point and decided to go exploring. But a lot of the map seems to be inaccessible or unavailable because I was on a free account. In one place, I could see potential enemies moving around underneath the sand, but when I tried to click on them, the game told me only paid members could interact with them. Fair enough. So, as for the membership side of the game, I feel like Jagex need to think about something to offer a more trial-based version of the game than just free-to-play. So I think what Jagex need to do, and I think they will make more money off of this as well in the long run, is a new account. When a new account gets made, they inform you with whether it's just a pop-up on screen saying that a lot of the game is inaccessible to free-to-play, but you can become a member, and then they either direct them to the option to subscribe to that, or they also say, once you've completed a total level on your account of a certain level, or once you've played for a total amount of hours, or once you've achieved a certain amount of quests, different options that all make sense, then you will get a free trial. Or just offer a free trial from Go, right? Just offer a free trial from Go for 7 days and just say to them, you can have 7 days, you just activate it whenever you like. Okay, it's 7 days, it's not the end of the world, and alt accounts and stuff, if people are going to make alts and take advantage of this, it would kind of suck for bots a little bit, because bots can get free membership and stuff, but bots are on members of worlds anyway, it is what it is. But just offer it, and if you enable it straight away, then you enable it straight away. If you don't, and you want to save it until you get used to the game, that's up to you. But also, just having it, even if it's behind things like getting a total level, doing a certain amount of quests, or anything like that, then eventually at least they've got something where they can try the game out. And if someone tries out the membership and they're like, oh, this is really good, they either sustain it with bonds, which is good for Jagex because bonds actually cost more to sustain your membership, and like, it's better for Jagex if everyone paid with bonds. It'd be better. It would be. They would make more money. So it's better for them if they do that, but also if not, then they buy a sub, and they're sub to the game when they wouldn't be otherwise because they haven't tried it out. So I do think this is something you need to look at, definitely, for sure. I eventually found a gateway out of the city and set upon some small hapless frog, which dutifully killed me because I had thrown all my food away to make room in my backpack for precious soil. Damn. Man, you did not have a good time, did you? You did not have a good time. On reflection, the shortcomings I have listed above are not really issues or problems with the game, rather the game just didn't suit my particular tastes. As a casual player, I don't have the time to completely immerse myself in such detailed gameplay, and for this reason, I am unable to recommend it. This post, this like recommendation, or I guess not recommendation at this point, is really good. It is really, really good. They've not just been sat here saying, bad game, don't play it, terrible, this happened, this is all the game's fault. They've even said at the end, you know, it's because it doesn't fit my playstyle, but I can't recommend it because of this, and I'm a casual player, and I don't have the time for it. But most people who are going to be playing the game are going to be casuals, and you have to take into account that casuals want to play the game as well. Someone goes to work for 8 hours a day, they come home, they got a family, they got an hour every night or every other night or something to sit down and play a game. They want to try a new game. Well, you need to make it so that those people feel able to get into the game, and if you don't, then you lose them. So the new player experience in RuneScape is a huge problem, and we lose so many people on it. And it's not just this stuff. The tutorials at the beginning of the game, yes, this is a sandbox MMORPG that lets go of your hand early, and that's a really nice factor about it. But it shouldn't just do this. I've always said this, and I stand by this still to this day, that the game should hold your hand for a little bit longer, but it should still give you the options. Now, what I mean by this is, at the beginning of the game, it should tell you, do you want to be someone who goes out and does all the quests? It gives you three things come up on screen. A window comes up after you've done the basic stuff, right? The very basic stuff. 3 things come up on screen and it says choose your path, okay? And on one of the things it says choose the path of the adventurer that goes out and does all the quests and stuff. And then you have a little bit of a hand-holding trail thing that takes you through some quests and goes through that, and it helps you unlock all the lodestones as well. And then when you need to get skills in between, for the next quest that Jagex has said this is the next one in the order, then it says, okay, now you need to get this, 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 and this. And eventually you start learning the game and you understand how questing system works and you understand all that, and it'll show you the bank and all this sort of stuff, right? And then the second option is, do you want to be someone who goes and does all the skilling and masters all the different skills in the game and works on all that sort of stuff? And then it goes and it teaches you that, and it'll set you a level of like aim to get 20 in every skill or something, and then you can go from there and you'll have an understanding of every skill and how all that works. But there needs to be more to it in terms of like banking and how to use all the stuff properly, rather than just saying, go to that mine over there and mine some more, and then go and melt it over here. Like, there needs to be more to it, more explanation, but in a not so overly complicated way. And then the last way should be, do you want to work towards doing combat and all this sort of stuff? And if you pick that, then it goes through and shows you all of that. But it holds your hand for a little bit longer, and it takes you to places and explains that this town is for this, or this is the Grand Exchange, and all this sort of stuff. And it doesn't just let go of your hand at birth up and go, good luck, have fun. I know it's confusing, but good luck, work it all out, it's fine. There's a lot of stuff that could be added to the game to make the new player experience better, and I think if it did, that the game would do better overall. I really feel like the game would do a lot better overall. Now, this post has 638 upvotes. 638, which means most people agree, and most people on here are current players. So, I mean, pretty much everyone on here is a current player, let's be honest, or like a newer player that's found Reddit or whatever. But it's true. It's true. So we're going to take a look at the stuff here. It says, a really solid review. In truth, what I gather from this is that Free World should have a more simplified gameplay for people wanting to get started. And Dragonbank says, I've recently transitioned from my 18 years of RuneScape to Elder Scrolls Online, and it's just the nature of MMOs. My best friend played ESO since 2014 and was constantly surprised at how I was always confused. MMOs that have been out for 4+ years are going to have so much content, it's going to be a bit stressful figuring out your place in the game. This is a very, very good point. And yes, this is I used Elder Scrolls as my example before, right? Finding the bank and stuff is confusing, but it was less confusing as a newer player on what was happening than in RuneScape, because Elder Scrolls is, I think Elder Scrolls is more of a theme park game, kind of, is it not? There's a clear path of where you want to go if you want to follow the main storyline or something, you know, rather than RuneScape where it goes, okay, bye, tutorial's done, open the wiki, open YouTube, good luck. And you don't even get that. It doesn't even say use the wiki or use YouTube. It just says, okay, tutorial done, good luck, have fun. Which is why the game holds so many like current players to stay for so long, because the game's good. But newer players, they don't stick around because it's so freaking confusing. But yes, games that have been out for a long time will have a lot of content. But then tutorials and new player experiences need to be reworked very often to like accompany that. If there's certain content that's just not as relevant anymore because some new content's come out, either way, just make the new player experience more welcoming. And Jagex really need to take a look at the new player experience in RuneScape 3. They seriously do, because it's just not there. It's just not there. So anyway, let's scroll down a little bit. This person says, it's a tough problem to solve. It's obviously great to have customability and lots of windows open that are useful, but it's so unclean and confusing to take a look at. As an old school RuneScape player, I find it difficult to keep playing because it's so complex. I wanted to try and progress my account so I can play around a little more with Necromancy when it's released, but even the chat window has 6 other menus and complex. Okay, so they're talking about the UI here. I assume that's probably going to come back up to here somewhere. I really don't understand how Reddit works. I think this shows that it's part of this, maybe? I don't freaking know. But yeah. This is another thing as well. The UI is insane with how complex it is, and it's good for current players because you can do whatever you want, but for others as well. But yeah, overall, I think that absolutely RuneScape and Jagex need to work more on the new player experience. Like, this is a huge problem. It really is. It doesn't lead you into the game enough, I don't think, especially for this day and age. I would say, and I don't know how the numbers on this, and the only way we would know this is if Jagex actually came out and said, but I would say most new players joining the game these days probably are playing on mobile as well, because it's a new platform and there's not huge competition on mobile. I bet a lot of new players that are joining the game are playing on mobile as well. And how confusing would this game be on there without any sort of guide? It needs it. Mobile players are more casual players as well, because it's people who, again, don't have the time to have like all this like time on the computer and stuff. So they use their phone every now and again. And I don't know. I think the tutorial definitely needs to be a little bit more hand-holdy. Whether it gives you the option to do that or not, it's maybe even better. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. This is I don't know. This is interesting to me. Jagex, please make the new player experience better. It'll be so good for the game to have new players in the game. And I mean, we had so many pre-registers on RuneScape Mobile. We didn't have any increase in the player count. It kind of says a lot, that a little bit, you know. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed. Channel members and patrons, thank you all so much for your extra support. Patreon people, I know the unique content hasn't come out just yet, but it is coming in the next couple of days, I promise you. But other than that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.